Good day. Here are the stories of the Manila Times for Saturday, December 5, 2020. President Rodrigo Duterte renewed his appeal for universal access to a coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 vaccine, saying it would be a gross injustice if poor or developing countries were left behind in the road to recovery from the health crisis. In a pre-recorded speech during the special session of the United Nations General Assembly on the coronavirus response, Duterte reiterated the Philippines' call for greater solidarity and enhanced cooperation to address the challenges brought about by the pandemic. He said, leaving a nation behind in the road to post-pandemic recovery by reason of poverty or strategic unimportance is a gross injustice that will haunt the world for a long time. Duterte also urged governments to act not as separate nations but one humanity to address the health crisis. Placing all local government units or LGUs under the least restrictive modified general community quarantine or MGCQ by 2021 will depend on how they will manage the COVID-19 situation in their communities, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire said on Friday. Vergeire was reacting to the statement of Acting Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Carl Kendrick Chua that the country will be under community quarantine until a vaccine for COVID-19 is made available. She said the target is to have the entire country under MGCQ by the second quarter of next year through different gatekeeping indicators such as intensified surveillance, contact tracing, isolation, testing, and treatment. What is more important at the moment is to plan for an expected surge of COVID-19 cases after the Christmas season, Vergeire said. The country's inflation rate rose to a 21-month high of 3.3% in November as prices of food and non-alcoholic drinks went up, the Philippine Statistics Authority reported on Friday. The figure was higher than October's 2.5% and a year ago's 1.3%. It also breached the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas' 2.4 to 3.2% estimate. November's inflation rate was the fastest since the 3.8% in February 2019 and higher than the 2.6% average outlook in a Manila Times poll of economists. Los Baños, Laguna Mayor Cesar Perez was gunned down inside the town hall on Thursday night. Los Baños police reported that Perez was shot and killed at 8:45 p.m. The 66-year-old Perez had just had a massage at a nearby spa and was walking to the hall's receiving area where the gunman shot him twice in the head, the police said. The police report did not say how many suspects killed the mayor. Perez was taken to the health-served Los Baños Medical Center where he died at around 9:25 p.m. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año ordered a task force to investigate the incident. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or the IATF-EID, has allowed workshops, consumer trade shows, and board meetings at 30% capacity in areas under General Community Quarantine, or GCQ. IATF-EID spokesman Harry Roque Jr. said on Friday. Roque said this was agreed upon by the task force during its meeting on Thursday. These activities will be allowed in restaurants and venues within hotel premises such as function halls and restaurants and mall atria, according to Roque. The IATF-EID has directed the Department of Tourism and the Department of Trade and Industry to jointly issue the guidelines for the implementation of the order as contained in IATF Resolution 87. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or the MMDA, announced on Friday that the number coding scheme will remain suspended until the end of the year. MMDA General Manager Jose Arturo Jojo Garcia Jr. said reimposing the number coding ban even during the holidays was not yet possible at this time because public transportation was not yet stable amid their limited movement to stem the spread of COVID-19. The agency, however, is also looking into lifting the truck ban by next year on EDSA or some other parts. In business news, government's outstanding debt expanded to a record high 10.02 trillion pesos at end October, as domestic and foreign borrowings rose, according to the Bureau of Treasury. Latest Treasury Bureau data showed that the amount was a 7.03% or 658.81 billion peso increase from 9.36 trillion pesos at the end of September. Of the figure, 28.4% was outstanding obligations a year ago were at 7.9 trillion pesos, of which 5.3 trillion pesos were domestic and 2.6 trillion pesos were foreign. Over to sports, Anthony Davis has agreed to a 5-year contract worth tens of millions of dollars with the LA Lakers on Thursday or Friday in Manila, just a day after they locked in superstar LeBron James with a 2-year contract extension. Davis's contract is worth $190 million and comes on the heels of his first season in Los Angeles, where he combined with James to lead the Lakers to their 17th NBA championship, the Los Angeles Times said. On Wednesday, James's agent said the NBA star agreed to a $2.085 million contract extension that would keep him with the team through 2023-2024. Together, the dynamic duo lifted the hapless Lakers out of 6 consecutive seasons of turmoil and losing to form the centerpiece of the offense. Blue Eagles head coach Tab Baldwin said Ateneo de Manila University has no plans of getting an import in the event its Ivorian center, Ange Kouame, becomes fully naturalized. Once Kouame acquires his Filipino citizenship, it is permissible for the Blue Eagles to add a foreign student athlete or import to their roster, since Kouame will now be considered a local. Baldwin, in a Coach's Unfiltered podcast, however, said he is not inclined to exploit the opportunity. Yen Macabenta and Ramon Tulfo are the Times' featured columnists on the front page. Macabenta writes about lockdowns based on fraud and the cancellation of Christmas, while Tulfo writes about the Japanese way worth emulating. The Times editorial lauds the 17 Metro Manila mayors for putting the brakes on the government's rush to loosen pandemic restrictions. Read the full version on the opinion section of the Manila Times or listen to the voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net, visit our social media platforms, and keep up with the Times. With the Fort Villa Serran and EJ Gomez, this is Arik John C. Kua reporting. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe.